Not happy, Jim. Some might say I have a three-wheeler problem. I got lots of three-wheelers. I don't think that's a problem. Everybody likes three-wheelers. The government once said this was the most dangerous vehicle ever built.
Years ago, the Honda Corporation decided to create a whole new sport.
For 1981, Honda introduces the great American fun machine, the all-new, all-excitement ATC 250R.
Government experts say it is by far the most dangerous vehicle on the market today.
So, of course, I've got to own one, or two, or three. My cousin called me and I got this three-wheeler for $100. This one I put a thermostat in a guy's truck and he gave it to me. This one was free. And I'm actually on my way across town right now to pick up another one. I think I've got a line on a 1982 250R, so follow along. We'll go pick it up and do a little work on it. Alrighty, time to get back on the 82 250R. I'm going to yank this swing arm out. I'm going to actually stretch it 10 inches. I've also got these really cool hubs. So these hubs come already machined and widened for a 400EX. And because it's a Honda, splines are the same. Widens that thing right out. Gives that thing a really sexy look. Let's look at these. I got these tires here. These are off from a 400EX quad. And let me see if I can get them up on here. Oh yeah, there we go. Widens that thing out a little bit. Looks pretty good. We're going to stretch that axle. That swing arm will push the axle back about 10 inches. We get a little more travel out of it. And then on the front end, I'm actually going to get rid of this wide front end. The main reason I'm doing that is because of the little bitty disc. I've got a front end out of a 84. Got the forks here, they're all rebuilt. We're going to put that 10-inch wheel on it for the bigger brake. So stay tuned. I'll get this thing cut up here in a minute and we'll show you how we stretch it out. So I've got the three-wheeler leveled up. I'm getting ready to pull the swing arm. Let me show you what I've done here. I've actually got it on jack stands. I'm going to use this height. It's 14 3/4 to the center on that axle on both sides. So what I'll do, once I cut that swing arm loose and I stretch it out, I'm going to use the chain for the guide to get it straight, and then I'll use the floor to get that axle straight with the three-wheeler. That way everything will be level and in line, and then I can tack it. Once I get it tacked, then I'll pull it all back apart and I'll weld it all up, powder coat it, make it look sexy. Alrighty. So I got the swing arm out. Ooh, it's full of crud. I'm gonna take it over here and I'm gonna cut this out with a plasma cutter. Cut all this loose. I'm gonna save these brackets for the shock, and then we'll clean all this up and start welding some tubing in it. All right, so I got this thing cut. Got the swing arm all cut out. I've got some tubing that I've cut. That's 1 by 2, and it's 1/8 wall. And then I've got a laser down the middle of it here. You can actually see that. That's marking center. And then I've been measuring off from my adjustment peg here to the center of the axle to get square. I've also checked it with a straight edge along the chain. Make sure the chain will actually line up. So I'm gonna tack these in and then we'll start swinging it and adjust the shock. I don't know how much I've added so far, but it's got to be about 6-7 inches. Oh Okay, so I got the swing arm all cut out. I'm using a laser here, Home Depot special, Ryobi I think it is, and what that's doing is it's marking the center of my trunnion. It's the trunnion and the center of the three-wheeler, and then I'm using a measurement from here to my pivot point to check for square this way. I'm also using a guide down the sprocket to the front sprocket to make sure that it's lined up. It's kind of hard to see that, but it's lined up pretty good. There's that sprocket up there. And I've checked here to the floor. I'm still right at about 14 3/4. So I've got these tacked now. This tubing is 1 by 2, and it's 120 wall, 1/8 inch. So I'm going to put a cross brace in here somewhere. It'll probably be pipe, and that's going to remount the shock. And then there's going to be some gusset plates here and a gusset plate up there. And if I need to, I'll put a little bridge underneath to give it a little added strength. And I'm not sure how much I've added so far. I think it's about 6 inches. I did set the fender on it, and it actually looks pretty good. So I decided to move my laser over to the sprocket. You can actually see right there, it's lighting up. It's lighting up all of the teeth on the rear sprocket. It's square. And then if you come up here, there's the front sprocket. Pretty accurate way to do it. Nothing straighter than light, right? Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I've got my hubs on. These things fit so good, they're so awesome. So basically a 400EX hub will widen a three-wheeler 1 inch on each side. These hubs actually add 1.5 inches over what a 400EX is, so that's 2.5. No, that's, yeah. So they widen it 1 inch plus the 1.5. That's, yeah, my math's real good, huh? Makes it 3 inches, no, 2.5, 5 inches total wider. And these will fit ATC 70s through 250R. All the three-wheelers, as far as I know, have the same spline on the axle. So, pretty cool. Okay, back on it again. Put tires on it, I sat it down on the ground. I was using a bottle jack to actually jack it up and down. Sorry for the filming, kind of doing this all by myself, so it makes it a little tough. And what I did was I put a little piece of pipe in here, and I used the original mount that I cut off. I cut that off of right there, and I laid the shock down at about, I don't know, 30-degree angle. It might be 40. That's going to make it a little bit of a aggressive, regressive shock. I'll back that spring off a little bit. It's a little bit tight, but it feels pretty good. So I'm about ready to put a chain on it and roll it and see what it looks like. And then I'll take this all apart, put gussets in here. I'm actually going to cut a little cardboard gusset out and make it look really nice with some holes in it. And then there'll be one up in here. And then I'll weld all of this in real good, clean it all up, and take it for powder coat. Looks pretty good though. Give you a wide angle right there. Also, something I'm going to do along with this modification, I'm going to take this 13 front sprocket that I've been running off, and I'm actually going to put a 15 on. That'll give me a little more top end, make up for the loss in the tire size, because the tires are going to be much smaller now. And I think those are 22 inches tall, and I'm going to be running 18s, I think. These are 20s, but I'm going to go to an 18-inch Hoosier when I'm done. I'll stick with the stock rear sprocket. I'm not sure what it is, but yeah, pick up 2 teeth up here. It'll wear better too. These little ones kind of wear out quick. Well, chain's on. The track's straight. It's rubbing on the swing arm up there, but I have the bushing. The bushing is right there. I'll put that back in. I left the little nipple on there in the front. It actually clips right on to here. There's a little bump there, and that'll help guide that over the top. Yeah, we're ready to blow it back apart. Another really cool thing is how long the brake hose is. I think Mr. Honda knew that these things were short and gonna get stretched, so they made the hose wrap around the shock and extra long. And all you have to do is come this direction and down, and it'll actually reach. You don't even have to put a new brake hose on. It's pretty cool. This already has the parking brake delete, so it's kind of cool. What I mean by the parking brake delete is they make a little billet cap. You take all that off and just bolt that to your original caliper. It's kind of cool. Cleans it up. Those parking brakes are cool when they work, but they're a pain in the ass when they don't. We're back on the 3-wheeler again. I've got to pull that swing arm off and finish welding a few things, but I'm waiting for a chain guide to come in. I'm gonna put a chain guide on the bottom so that it doesn't derail on the sprocket, because it's kind of a long chain. It gets to whipping, it'll throw it off. I'm gonna change this front end. This one is a little over 11 inches wide on the forks, and I'm actually gonna put the narrow wheel. I've got a tire here. This is from the 1984. Good looking setup. I've got a set of forks here rebuilt. I've got the triple clamps from the 84. So we're going to jack this thing up and swap it out. I think it's going to be pretty straightforward, but I don't know. I don't know if the bearings are the same size. I don't know anything about it. So we're going to try to swap it. Anyway, I got the front end together. Looks pretty good. Fits good. I'm still waiting on a part. The nut for that right there. I have a closed nut, but it won't fit, so I've got to use an open nut. And then I got to pick up 2 bolts for these each side. But yeah, looks pretty good. 1984, 83, 84 front end on a 82 250R with a 6-inch stretch swing arm and 5-inch wider axle. Also, I'm going to put this 86 flat slide on. I don't know how many millimeter it is, but it's substantially larger than what's on it. That should make it run pretty good. Has a DG silencer. Other than that, it's bone stock. This bike only has probably 10 hours on it. It's super clean, so good times. Take it to the sand dunes. It's ready. Okay, we got the 3-wheeler all loaded up. It's time to go test and see if the swing arm is going to break. Yeah, custom made, the whole thing stretched out wider. Barely fits in the truck. Look at that. Rubbing the tire on both sides. Kind of like it was made for it. It's up against the tailgate, up against the front. It's coolness. Back in the day, we used to stand the 3-wheelers up. We would tip them up, put them up against the cab. So, I'll go pick up Jimmy. We'll go for it. Top secret stuff going on in here. Look at this hot rod. Jimmy!
What's up?
You ready to go or what? Anybody? Look at these jet skis. They just go on forever. Oh yeah. All right, you ready to go ride a three-wheeler?
Yeah, let's do it.
Jimmy's Ford. This is Jimmy's Ford. Nobody's ever seen this Ford. It's pretty cool. Yeah, it's got a Cummins in it. Of course. Everything's got to have a Cummins in it. This is Jimmy's three-wheeler, 250R. We acquired this in the mess of three-wheeler madness. Oh, you got your front tire on.
I do.
That's motivation. Yeah, it has a 300 kit on it and an answer pipe and silencer, but it has no compression. So he's going to have to do a little work on that. Get that 300 kit screaming. So here's an update on Eric's truck. We put some wheels and tires on it. We're still waiting on a windshield for this truck. I've done some more sheet metal repair and filled a few things in. It runs really good. So here's an update on the kids' truck. It's kind of not a lot different than we left it. We put it on a trailer. However, it has glass in it now. So Eric paid for Wes's windshield. That's kind of cool. But yeah, it's just kind of sitting here waiting for Wes to return. There we go. Woo, just like that. It's the first time it's been in the dirt since I've owned it.
This is the first time it's been in the dirt in 25, 35 years.
Probably ever. It was probably wrecked once and then somebody like gave up on it because it's a clean three-wheeler.
The Honda shirt is cool.
Dude, it fits, right?
That's it.
Got my wings on today.
That's it.
Figure I'll put this helmet on for looks. It makes me look faster. I'm trying to think when the last time was I rode a three-wheeler. I think it's been long enough I forgot. I forgot how to ride. Okay. Mr. Honda says turn on the gas. I think it's on. Now Mr. Honda says kickstart. Jim. I think it might be out of gas.
Details.
No, it's plenty of gas in it. It's not the gas. It keeps trying to run away. Looks like the throttle.
Yeah, sticking?
I don't know. Well, the swing arm didn't fall off. That was the main thing. It's got a little bit of a idling issue, but I think it's in the throttle. Thanks for watching.